Andrew Carnegie is one of millions of immigrants who come to the United States in the middle of the 19th century, in his case, coming over from Scotland. And he is, in some sense, the true boy who pulls himself up by his bootstraps, and he certainly liked to advertise this story about himself as well.
He came at 13 years old, had to start literally working as a child in a button factory, the kind of worst child labor that no one would ever permit today.
He taught himself to be a telegraph operator. He went to work for the railroads. He eventually identified iron and steel as his niche.
Carnegie started out to build steel rails because he knew he was living in an age of very expansive railroad construction, the completion of the transcontinental line in 1869, and then an explosion of railroad construction, especially in the West thereafter.
And what's remarkable about Andrew Carnegie is that in the 1870s, at a moment when American industry and the American economy is really beginning to collapse, Andrew Carnegie says, aha, here lies an opportunity. And he begins to build his iron and steel empire.
His timing couldn't have been better. It was steel that built American cities. It was steel that built American railroads. It was steel that built American shipping. And Carnegie identified steel as an industry that was going to blossom and boom in the coming years. And Carnegie was simply better at producing steel than anybody else. By the beginning of the 20th century, he was one of the wealthiest men in America.
Carnegie said again and again and again in his own lifetime that he regarded himself one of the luckiest people who'd ever lived. And he, in a sense, marveled at his own good fortune.
He was one of the great philanthropists of the 19th and early 20th century. He gave, I think, $350 million of his wealth into libraries and universities and other places, both here and in Europe. So he's an interesting figure. Clearly rags to riches, but there weren't many people like Andrew Carnegie.